Muslim white supremacists have become a thing because, well, Muslims have gone to America and then realised what America's about. Particularly in the school.
Oh, this wasn't what I was for.
It's kind of come home, of course, because our focus has naturally been on the English-speaking part of the United States, primarily, and the non-so-English-speaking part of the United States has slowly had this creep in their schools, and they're not too happy about it. We'll start off by promoting the Origin of Intersectionality podcast for all our Muslim viewers who are joining us today.
Just so you can see exactly what you're dealing with.
Brothers, it really is a long-standing project, and the details are something you need to know if you're going to properly fight it. So do go and check that out. But otherwise, let's get to the event itself, because you may remember that American schools are American, so you get headlines.
Particularly Californian schools are Californian.
Yeah, I mean, I do joke a lot, but everyone always comments, yes, it's American leftists, don't worry, I'm not mad. I don't think the Republicans are like, you know what little Timmy needs.
Yeah, we appreciate that there are many based red states that don't do this, but California still exists, and so while it still exists, it's guilt by association.
Your blues are on another level of visibility, at least. So here, for people listening, California school broadcasts sexually explicit books, some covering pedophiles, kink, and pornographic images. Now, unless it's look out for this man, stay away from him, which I don't think it is.
Some of the passages in this California public school library appeared to discuss 6 to 8-year-olds engaging in sex acts. Just give me strength, Lord.
Yeah, so another day in the beautiful land of California, where another 200,000 people have left this year.
And the Muslims are just like, see, this book prevents that.
So Muslims mad, which is the next link of just some Muslims being mad. There you are. Stock footage. But no, they're all there.
But I agree with them on this particular case.
Yeah, Muslim mums, very based. Muslim dads are very based, coming up being like, no, none of that.
This weird pervy leftism.
Not something I want. And we'll go to the event, which is apparently the Muslim leaders of this particular protest went to the school authorities and spoke with them and all debated about what was the case. And they were like, well, look, this is the reason we oppose sex of children.
Yeah.
Which, you know,
the left were like, okay, well, we've never heard this argument before.
Yeah, I mean,
nonce kids.
I love how it's just on that age as well. I mean, 6-year-old, no, come on. The Muslims are saying, so, the conversation. I mean, they're right in that instance.
Yeah, I mean, the Venn diagram converges where we both agree.
Yeah, and, the school board didn't take it lightly. You have this lady here.
I love that it's women on the school board.
Yeah, it's an average woman here who decided to give her thoughts on the whole thing.
I live in my apartment with my cats.
Yeah.
I have, avocado toast and all of these sorts of, exactly.
The meme lifestyle.
It is exactly the meme lifestyle.
Let's play her thoughts on the Muslim protesters.
I've had a lot of really good conversations this morning with many of the people who have testified here. And, and it's more complicated, I think, than a lot of people would like to think it is.
It's not.
This issue has unfortunately put some, not all, of course, but some Muslim families on the same side of an issue as white supremacists and outright bigots, and however,
genocidal Nazis.
The folks who I've talked here today, I would not put in the same category as those folks, although, it's, again, complicated because they're falling on the same side of this particular issue.
Oh my God, that's amazing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it puts these folks in the same category as carnivorous alien life forms on Mars, who also don't agree with nonsense kids. It's just like, yeah, okay. Like literally, genocidal swarms of invading aliens also agree. Nazis agree. The
flood invades Earth and just goes, wait, what were you doing?
It's exactly, and your reasonable concerns are all in that category. It's like, but I'm not going to put you with those people, although from the tone of voice you can tell that I think you're a little bit too close to them.
She's standing there being like, I stand with the paedophile community against Islam, and it's like, what? What world am I living in?
Why don't you just go to your yoga class, love, and stop thinking about it?
Yeah, it made no sense. I mean, none of this made any sense, obviously. It was simple, blah, blah, blah. I'm not spelling out the bleeding obvious, because I don't need to, I don't think, for people at home.
What kind of person are you, though, when someone comes up to you, apart from being a German, obviously, and someone comes up to you and says, don't nonce kids, and they're like, a Nazi. You know, like a German leftist is obviously going to think that, which they did actually.
Yeah, we'll go over that. Well, average person who, I don't know, gets German ideology. Her instant response to this, though, was funny, which she immediately came out and just sent, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The BP response.
My remarks were focused on promoting inclusion, which is why I called you a Nazi. What?
I
don't know what you... Are women okay?
Comment below.
Californian women, are you feeling all right?
She says, my remarks created an opportunity for misunderstanding and mischaracterization. I merely meant that you were white supremacists, not actually white supremacists. All right. I apologize for the hurt that has been caused in the Muslim community. Not to anyone else. Anyone else who I've labeled this.
The rest of you Nazis can go hang, but these Nazis, I'm sorry to them.
They're good Nazis, it turns out. They're fellow Nazis.
They're Nazis of colour.
I mean, to be honest.
That's how she thinks of it.
I
literally how she thinks of it. I'm not even joking. That's what she thinks. Okay, I'm dealing with Nazis, but they are people of colour, so...
Nazis of colour of a kind stick together. Obviously, the Muslim parents aren't Nazis at all. Just to clear that up.
No one involved in this is a Nazi or a genocidal space alien who's going to take over the world or anything of the sort.
Her name's Mink.
Oh, of course it is.
Yeah. At the time, she was wearing a shirt. Could you read the shirt? Because I couldn't quite.
I didn't notice it.
The shirt said, love, empathy, compassion, inclusion, justice, kindness. In Pride colours, of course, as well, as she insists that the Muslims can get out. She then claimed to understand where the faith community was coming based on the fact that she had sat down with members of the Montgomery County Muslim community before she spoke at the meeting. Some fella named Roya, I had a private chat with her beforehand. Roya's response to being called a white supremacist was that Roya said Muslims audibly gasped when she made her remarks, and many instantly left the meeting. It was a very disturbing and jarring moment, and it just reveals what kind of people really are lurking in their hearts when they're pretending to be your friends.
Well,
Ouch.
I mean, I'm glad you've arrived at the conclusion that, hang on, maybe these progressive leftist women are only pretending to be our friends while they try and nonce our children. So, yeah. That's exactly what it is.
Fox News Digital reached out to Mink for comment about whether or not the Democrat had also made an apology for blasting individuals on the basis of being Zionist Jews.
What?
Because she has a history, apparently. Which, this is another day for her.
And that's why the Muslims are friends.
And for calling for white women to be struck down from leadership to dismantle white power. She didn't respond to any of those claims.
Let's hear her out on that one.
No, but I love that. I mean, she gives a speech saying that white women need to be struck down. Next day, she goes after the Zionist Jews who are needing to be... I don't know what she said about them specifically.
And today it's the Muslim Nazis.
And of course, as soon as... I don't know if she was just playing a game with a mate, like a dare. Let's see how far I can go with this. But she got to the Muslim Nazis and then went, oh, I backtrack. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The rest of it she doesn't apologise for.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know...
But I mean, bingo, no one cares about any of the other groups.
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
It's funny.
Isn't that interesting?
Muslim responses to this story, I quite liked. Oh, yeah. So we'll check those out, because chap here just says, we also breathe the same air as white supremacists. SMH, what are these people on? And you got these, comrades in the chat who are just like, Marxism, that's what they're on. Yeah. What do you want? Yeah. The next one is someone
Let me guess, you guys drink water too. Unreal. The coincidences just keep mounting up.
Sheena over here says degenerate liberal supremacist. That's an interesting one.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, quite like that, Sheena. The next one here is someone saying, by this logic, the vast majority of Africa are also on the same side as white supremacists.
How do the Ugandans feel about all of this?
I mean, yes, Mr. Shady over here. Have you checked? I also just wanted to end off with some other images, which, of course, we disavow. I can't believe the Muslim community would do this. It was so unexpected. Happy Canada Day, everyone. Well, for people listening, we'll describe it. So there's a bunch of Muslim protesters, got the Canadian flags that they're flying, and then there's a bunch of rainbow, specifically the racial pride flag, rainbow bunting, that they've thrown on the floor, and then have all of their little kids jumping up and down off, like it's the Israeli flag in your Palestinian family.
And they're laughing and smiling about it.
Yes. And the chap who's interviewing them here, I couldn't quite make out who he is. But he's just like, oh, so we got the kids jumping up and down. All right, it's a good day. And then talks to the woman. She's like, yes, it's good. So there's that. That's what was up in the news. Factually reporting what happened, no opinion on it. There's also
disavow. I mean,
a wider conversation to be had though, because this has been a long time coming, hasn't it?
Well, notice in the previous comments, like move over Asians. The Muslims are now the white adjacent group, and that's it's kind of that's how things are going to go.
We've spoken about this before. I mean, the white race really is the most inclusive race of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, we did a segment once trying to figure out who was white according to the left, and I think we managed to draw it down to the whole world except from like North Korea and China and Black Americans. I mean, it was what was it? The North, global South map.
Yeah,
ended up making it that weird.
But what's strange to me is just how popular Nazism is with minorities. Actually,
yeah. In fact,
they don't avow it themselves, but they get told a lot that they've joined the Nazis.
And the media keep finding this. Here we have the New Yorker. The rise of Latino white supremacy.
This is a really recent thing as well.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a couple months ago, as you can see.
Not
here.
even.
Yeah.
Like a month ago, not even.
The next one here is, why are some people of colour drawn to white supremacy? From LAist over there. They've got Enrique, how do you say his last name?
Tariq or Tariq, yeah. The Proud Boys guy. Yeah.
They say he's a white supremacist because of that.
Yep.
I don't think they figured out how.
Well, it just turns out you don't have to be white to be a white supremacist.
Because, of course, these people's definition of white supremacist is just you're counter-revolutionary.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's exactly it.
The next one here is why white supremacists, white in brackets there, are not always white.
Thank you, Christopher Rhodes, lecturer in government at Harvard University and lecturer in social sciences at Boston University. Appreciate your input on that, mate.
Spending your spare time working for Qatari state media over here, who I'm sure are also white supremacists by the new standard. Because have you asked their opinion on Africa? Have you asked their opinion on giving citizenship to such people who work for 10 years?
Have you asked their opinion on homosexuality?
Yeah. But Christopher over here doesn't ask that. He's just like, well, again, how does Enrico over here keep joining white supremacy? That's his argument in this particular one. There's also that neo-Nazi guy. You remember that guy? The one who came out?
Could have been,
crashed his U-Haul and, there was a Nazi flag in it. And the Daily Mail Online put an image of, I don't know, Ajum Pajit over here. I'm gonna guess.
But just the average Nazi in 2023, this is the rough profile of them. It's just like, what?
It's all Mexicans, Cubans, and Indians, for some reason.
And some Muslims as well, apparently.
Yeah.
Muslim mums.
It's a hell of a... I mean, we made that thing when we did the video looking at who was white and who wasn't based on leftist ideology as a joke, because we didn't actually look at people. We looked at leftist ideology, and their presumptions were that, well, Mexico is basically white, basically north of Africa, that's white. I mean, everything was fucking white.
Yeah.
And then we come back to, well, who should we check out? Who are the white supremacists in real life? I mean, there's a few. I mean, there have been a few in the past as well.
I'm not saying they're not.
I don't know if you ever watch Mark Felton Productions, tiny channel. Very.
I haven't heard of him.
Unwell known. Do you actually not?
No.
Oh, I was doing a bit.
Oh.
Everyone knows Mark Felton Productions.
Never heard of him.
Beautiful intro. Anyway, but he made this video talking about Hitler's Arabs and black soldiers.
Right.
There's just loads of pictures. There's just one picture. I don't know if you want to hit play, and this one stays still for a while, but there's a whole bunch of others where they're just like, a black Nazi. A Muslim Nazi. I mean... an actual Nazi, because...
I mean, literally part of the Nazi party and enrolled in their army.
I mean, there was an Arab SS unit at one point. They were mostly used to kill Slavs, because, average day.
Yep.
And he just goes through again and again, multiple different versions.
I feel that we should take some time to explain to the Americans that the old world is a very complicated place.
Yeah.
It's very...
I don't know if it'd be worth...
No, it is completely possible to have a black and Arab Nazi in the old world.
I mean, it goes on a bit though, because I mean, if you go to the next one here, we got the Muslim SS I was talking about. So if you pause that and go to the next link, we'll see that. Which they've all got their own little hats there with
fezzes,
the Ottoman
little Nazi fez.
Yeah, I mean, basically the next image IRL is also real life. I mean, the meme itself of have you checked out the racist community?
Yeah, well, it seems that it's full of foreigners.
Go to the next one. We can actually see what I'm talking about. There you are. when I'm in a racial diversity contest and my opponent is the racist community.
Yeah, I mean, that's genuinely...
I mean, you are destroyed.
Yeah.
You're not going to win.
It's amazing that racists come in all shapes and sizes. All colours of the rainbow. The people they seem to be opposed to is white women.
If you go to the next one here, we can see more of that, which is,
Yeah.
I mean, the meme is real. The anti-racist girl,
Yeah.
her friends, and then the racist boyfriend and all his friends.
But it's unironically true.
I mean, I mean, my travels, I found that as well, and it's kind of funny.
It's just hilarious.
You gotta, I mean, especially in Afghanistan, because they they really didn't get the memo on Germany. But like, you ask them about stuff, and they're just like, "Yeah, of course." So, interesting. That's how you live your lives.
You've seen Louis Theroux's trip to South Africa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, where it's like,
Why are you breaking bread with him when he's black?
we're both racist. He's a racist also.
I mean, I also remember J-Reg's video about it. It was just like, me and my buddy Abdul, we write letters every day about how we can't stand the lesser races. But it's true. It's a real thing as well. But this is obviously not to say that any of the people in the previous story were Nazis. There's no evidence of it.
What I love about this is it does transcend. It's like, no, it's about common ground and agreement. Right?
Yeah.
That's what brings people together.
Whereas the actual people in Nazi uniforms, I mean, yeah, that's different. It also works in every language, this meme. I don't know if you've ever seen that. If you go to the next one here, we can see... Oh, you don't need to read whatever gobbledygook that is.
You know what they're saying.
You know what it is. Le antiracismus, or whatever. Mi amigos versus whatever else is going on. And the last one here is, I mean, that word has just lost all meaning, of course. Okay. Let's check in with the average hammer and sickle account. Destroy white supremacy. Black on black crime is white supremacy. Capitalism is white supremacy. Anti-alphabet is white supremacy. Republicans are white supremacy. Climate change is white supremacy. I didn't know I had that power, but...
It just makes white supremacy... I mean, they've just given to white supremacy almost all of the power and resources that the Earth contains.
But the climate change one I love. I mean, it is like orc logic again. Like, if all the white people in the world decide to believe that they are superior, the weather will change. I mean, is this person serious? I mean, they are, but they're not smart. Anyway, point being, Muslim white supremacists. Welcome to the club. Every Thursdays we have lemon cakes. If you but you'll be sad to know that none of us actually care about white supremacy. It's a bit of a bad marketing by the left there. But welcome to the club of not being a leftist. Thanks for watching this segment from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you feel like supporting us, you can feel free to visit our merch site where you can get all sorts of merch, including hoodies, t-shirts, notebooks, and mugs. And if you feel like keeping up to date with what we've got going on, you can follow us on Twitter and Getter at lotuseaters_com. Thank you and goodbye.